Hello crafters and creatives, welcome to my channel where I share arts and crafts ideas for beginners. I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos on ceramics recently, and I really wanted to try pottery myself despite the limited space I have at home. But where there's a will, there's a way, so off I went to Hobbycraft and began my quest for the perfect air drying clay to practice throwing on my brand new mini turntable. The reason for using air drying clay is so that I don't need to use a kiln to fire my pots. Now I'm a complete newbie when it comes to throwing clay and I've never used a turntable before now, so when I finally got my mini turntable a few weeks ago, I have to say I haven't practiced throwing more than a few days if you add up all the hours, but the results weren't too bad. So in this video, I will show you how I paint, glaze and gift wrap my mini pots. I hope this encourages you to try pottery at home, and remember to subscribe for more ceramics videos coming soon. Hello, welcome to this month's vlog. Today is the 9th of June and I went back to Hobbycraft yesterday to pick up some supplies and buy some artificial flowers to decorate my miniature pots. So they have quite a few selection of both plants and flowers, and these are the ones I came back with, and the idea is to make them like this. So I got these stones to keep the plants in place with, and I think I'll just use a bit of PVA glue to stick them down permanently. I also got this foam block, so I'll also use this to fix the plants in place. Most of the pots I made with the agar clay are completely dry now, so first I'm going to sand them down and then varnish them. And I made these pots with a mix of the agar clay and the terracotta clay, so these haven't completely dried, and I think that's because they are a mix of two different kinds of clay. So I'll leave them aside to dry for a couple more days before I start sanding them down. So I'll probably do a bit more editing today and sand these down tomorrow using my hobby drill. So I finished sanding all of these down and it took way longer than I expected it to. So I'm going to stop here today and pick up tomorrow. I think next time I'm not going to leave it to dry out completely before sanding it down because it was quite difficult to smoothen it out. It does help to add a little bit of water just to get that smooth effect. I think this is as smooth as I'm going to get it. So these are done. I'm going to paint these up tomorrow. Yesterday she got her jab, so she didn't eat her dinner last night. I think she was probably in too much pain, so her food was left pretty much untouched. So I'm going to be using these acrylic paints. This is white, chestnut and chocolate. This is white, pink and turquoise. So I'll be mixing and matching these to come up with different designs. Hello, it's Thursday the 20th of June and I've finished painting up all my little mini pots and I am really happy with the way all of them have turned out. At one point I did think that it wasn't going to work, especially when I was first trying to make the pots with the terracotta clay. I was a bit disheartened because it wasn't working out, and no matter what I tried, I just couldn't get the clay to do what I wanted it to do. To be honest, I did feel like giving up, and then on day 2, when I tried to learn more about how to center properly, I did start feeling confident. I am really pleased that I continued and I persisted and didn't give up. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and I watched a few YouTube videos and tutorials and just got myself going and just pushed through those sort of trying to talk myself out of it. So this one's handle broke off at the drying stage and I decided to use my UV resin to permanently stick it back together again, and it's created this really interesting effect. So where the resin dried is the actual clay, and this is why I wasn't able to put the acrylic paint over it, and then I varnished the whole pot with just normal wood varnish just to seal the paint permanently. So I'm going to wrap these up and give them as gifts. So these are the wrapping materials I will be using. I already had the wrapping paper and the tissue paper at home. These are just pieces that I've salvaged from deliveries and things. I always anticipate moments like this when I'm going to need them, so I always recycle anything that looks good. This is actually from IKEA's furniture. I bought this twine from Hobbycraft, and I went to Pound Stretchers and I bought these pots. They're for like growing seeds and cuttings and things. It's for the garden and they're disposable. So I had an idea to put my mini pots into these recyclable pots and then wrap them up nicely. So let's see how it turns out. And these are the other things that I made along with the mini pots that didn't quite work out. So this was one of the earlier ones. I think I did this on day 2 and I don't really love it, so I just decided to just leave it. And this is a candle holder that I made for my husband. This was one of my first attempts at using the ceramics paint, and he can use it as a real candle burner because I've varnished it, so hopefully it will be quite durable with the 2-3 layers of varnish I've put on it. Again, this was just a warm-up exercise, but it kind of goes with the other one. This was one of the first pieces I made and I cracked it. I just want to see whether this will fit inside. So the small one will be on its side and the big one like this. I'm just trying to get a feel of how it will feel wrapped up, and I'll use the tissue paper to wrap them up individually. They shouldn't get scratched because I varnished them, but just to make them a bit more secure. Hello, it's evening time the next day and I've finished packing my pots, and off camera I made some tags to go with them. And I think, to me, I think the tissue paper looks much better than this brown wrapping paper. It's not even wrapping paper, it was just sent bunched up in a box that I received from Amazon orders. They usually shove these papers in just to fill up the box space, but I think I actually prefer this look with the tissue paper. And I decided to keep these pots for myself. It was a successful project. I'm happy with the way these turned out. So these will remind me of occasions like this when I successfully finished a project. And I really like the way this pot turned out, even though there are times when I just wanted to give up, but just seeing this in my hand, it gives me a very satisfactory feeling. So I'm really happy with the way this little clay project turned out. So I hope you've enjoyed this vlog, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.